Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made these polymer clay earrings, and the clay came from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to show you the packages of clay that I got. This one has some tan, white, and green. And these are $1.25. This one has brown, gray, and white. And that's the one I used for this video. And this one has pink, blue, and purple, and they also had a red, blue, and yellow, which I didn't buy. And this is one of those, I don't know, plates that has, I don't even know what to call it anyway. And those are some cutters. So 2 different packages of cutters. They have 6 cutters in each package. Again, all of this was $1.25, and then a set of tools, which has 5 different tools in it. So I'm just going to open this one here, and I'm going to use 2 of the teardrop ones, the 2 smaller ones. I'm going to open the tools. And then I'm going to open the clay. Again, this one is the one that's black, white, and gray. And each piece of clay is wrapped in some cellophane or whatever you want to call it. And this is a texture plate. That's what it is. So it has like an animal print on one side, and the other side has little dots on it. Now, it was kind of hard to get these clays open, so I deleted that footage of me trying to struggle with it. And I'm going to start out with the white clay. Now, I thought it would be softer than it is. It's not, I mean, it's okay, but you got to warm it up a lot. I just thought it would be softer than it is. And polymer clay, you do have to bake it. And this clay has absolutely no instructions on it whatsoever. I do know how to, use it and bake it because I do have polymer clay of my own. But if you don't know about polymer clay, you would have to Google it because, like I said, it has absolutely no instructions with it whatsoever. And it doesn't have the warnings on it as far as I can tell, like the other polymer clays that you get from like Hobby Lobby or something. I think it says on there if you're pregnant, you shouldn't use it. It can cause miscarriages. So be aware of that. So I just soften it in my hands, just roll it in a ball, and then I flatten it out, and then I have my, what is it, a pasta maker thingy. This is one that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby years ago. It's seen better days. So I just thin it out, and I think if you use polymer clay, especially a lot, you do need one of these pasta makers. And this is sold in the craft section at Hobby Lobby. So I just put it through there and thin it out. There are numbers on the dial, and you can use the same numbers for each time, and it'll be the same thickness. I'm just going to warm it up some more. It's not quite as soft as it needs to be. So I run it through there a little thicker to start out with, and then I go to the thinner settings. And I actually do it as thin as it can get. And that's not necessarily a good thing. My settings go from 1 to 9. And I start out with a 9, and then I go towards the middle, and then I go all the way to 1. You can skip in between, but you see how thin that is? So really, you don't want it that thin. I would suggest using like your thickness for earrings and stuff halfway. So the number 5, possibly the 4. But I wouldn't go any skinnier than that, any thinner than that, because it'll be too thin. So there I am turning the dial. And like I said, for this one here, I did go down to 1. But you'll see in a little bit, it was just too thin. And that blue mat there is silicone. And it's really good to work with polymer clay. And I did get, it was 3 in a package from Amazon. It's not very expensive. And so I'm going to cut a drop, one of the drops out. This is a smaller one. It's like a cookie cutter. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to go to the black. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me put some texture on these. So you see that's like an animal print, like a leopard or something like that. And I press it on there. And then I take it off, and it didn't really do a whole lot. I'm just looking at it. It didn't do too much. So I put the next one on there. And then I put that one back on because it really didn't do much. And then I'm going to take one of the tools and press it down. Because I'm like, I'm just not getting, I'm not getting it real good on there. So I press it down. That's not really working much either. I guess I probably went around this the wrong way, because you want to do your texture first and then cut your pieces out. So I have this acrylic pressing block, whatever you want to call it, for polymer clay, and I used it to press it down. Well, that didn't really work either. Then it got stuck on my acrylic block there, and it kind of ripped. I think I got this one off, but the next one kind of ripped up. And it has a little bit of the imprint on it, but not much. And then I decided, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start over. So I got rid of that. I mixed it back in, and I'm going to start over. I think this is where I realized, you know what? If I want to do the texture, I need to do it first before I cut out my shape. So I'm going to put it back through the pasta machine. And you just turn it with your hand. It's just a cranking. It's not electric or anything like that. You just turn it, and the handle keeps falling off. Okay, so I'm going to put this on there, and I'm going to press it down, and I'm pressing it. And look, it's stuck on there. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not enough. I'm going to press it again. And 2, like I said, I probably made it too thin. Because I think at this point I was still doing it on 1, or maybe I changed it to 3 or something like that. It really should have been 5. I think 5 is a good number for earrings. So anyway, it has a little bit of an imprint on it, and I'm going to go ahead and go with it. It doesn't really show up much at all. I later, off camera, I took a piece of clay and put it on there and pressed it really hard, and the imprint was on there, so I don't know what the problem was. I do have some other textured mats. They're not hard plastic like this one. They're like they're more like that blue mat there. Well, it's like rubber, kind of rubberish. I don't know if it's the stuff that the mat is made out of. I don't think so. I think it's more on the rubber side. So I go ahead and cut 2 of those out. And I think, like I said, I probably put the setting of the machine on 3 for these. It is pretty thin. And if I did these again, I would put it on 5. So I'm just picking up the little pieces with my clay there. I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to work on the black. And it does take a bit to, warm this clay up. Like I said, it's pretty hard. I mean, you can press it with your fingers and stuff, but it's not soft. And look, it actually put some black on my hands, which if you touch the white after you've done the black, it's going to rub off on your white. So I cut out one of the medium-sized teardrops. Again, I'm using the setting of 3 on my pasta machine there. And I'm just going around the edges, trying to smooth them out a little bit. And then again, I'm picking up the little pieces with my extra clay there. So what I'm going to do is, now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do it like this, where you line the top of both of the teardrops up together, putting the white on top, and it will bake that way. Or you can do them separately. I went ahead and did them on top because I wanted my holes to line up. But even so, you could still just do it separately, and it wouldn't matter too much about the holes lining up perfectly. So I'm just going to take the tool that has the little rounded tip on it, and I'm going to poke a hole in the top. And it's going to go through both the white and the black piece of clay. You want to be careful not to get too close to the edge of the tip there, because you can tear it. But if it does tear, you just take your fingers and pinch it back together before you bake it. So I'm going to put it on some parchment paper here. I have a little oven, and I only use it for crafting purposes. I do not use it's over in my craft room. It does not leave my craft room. I do not put food in it or anything like that. So if you do polymer clay and stuff like that in a little oven, you do not want to use it for food. And I have my temperature setting on my oven, and I never move it. I'm not exactly sure what the temperature is. This clay does not tell you what to put it on, so you can probably look it up online. And then I just put it in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, probably not that much. It is very thin, so it cooks very quickly. And you need to keep an eye on it, because if you don't, you can burn it. It will put burn spots on it. So now I have some jump rings and a fish hook earring, ear wire. And I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to put it through the top of my polymer clay where the hole is. And these two pieces are one piece now because they've baked together. And I'm using 2 jump rings per earring so it will lay correctly. Because of the position of the ear wire, if you don't use 2 of them, then it's kind of going to go to the side and you won't have it towards the front, unless you like your earrings going to the side, which is fine. So I added another jump ring, and then I'm going to add my fish hook ear wire. And then to open and close your jump rings, you want to take one, you want to put a tool on either side, and then you turn one way and one the other way. You do not want to pull them apart. It will distort your ring. And I accidentally put my fish hook on going in the wrong direction. So I put it on so you would see the back of the earring, and that's not what I wanted. I always get them on backwards. I don't know why, I can't figure it out. But for some reason, I'm challenged in that area. Okay, so there's that one. Not too bad. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Same thing, I want to use 2 jump rings and then the fish hook ear wire. Twisting the jump ring, not pulling it apart. So there's that one. And the other one. So now I have a set of black and white teardrop earrings. Now I decided that I wanted to add a little something else to these. So I have several molds for polymer clay that I had gotten off of Etsy years ago. And I'm just going to take one of the black pieces of polymer clay and I'm going to put it in this one. This one here is 3 different sizes of roses, and I'm going to use the largest one. And then I just take that tool there and take off the excess clay off the back of the mold there. And then I'm just pressing it in with my thumbs. And then once I get it all in there, then you stretch out the sides and then you push down trying to get it out and hope it doesn't distort. Because a couple of the petals of the rose wants to stay in there, and it does kind of distort it a little bit, but it's not so much that I can't use it. And you see I have a little piece of white clay in the black clay, so I'm just going to fold that into the center of the black clay. I don't want that to be seen in my rose. Although it probably would have been cute to have a white spot in the black rose. I don't know. Again, I'm just taking off the excess clay. And I'm going to take the clay that's left over and I'm going to dab it around that to get the loose pieces off. I'm going to pop out my rose. And again, I mean, sometimes these are not the easiest molds to use, and you might have to do it several times before you get it right. See how that one petal is sticking out there? I just kind of push it in closer. And then again, you want to bake these before you attach them to your earrings. And I use the 3-in-1 glue from Hobby Lobby. And it works pretty good for jewelry. So I'm just going to add my rose to the white part of my earrings. Just like that. And poof, you have a cute pair of teardrop earrings with roses on them. You'll have to let me know what you think about this project. Is this something that you'll try? I mean, the clay was $1.25. And of course, and they do have jump rings and ear wires at the Dollar Tree, but I had these on hand. You'll have to let me know what you think of these. Is this something you would wear? Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. And I do 3 videos a week, and I'll see you later.